Well, hello everyone. Welcome, IHG. This is going to be a very exciting talk for you. I've prepared something very special for you. So I noticed on your website that right away you have a picture of someone surfing. I thought that was really cool, but how about updating? How about a little improvement and update to someone kite surfing? This is my passion, something I do almost every day. All kidding aside though, I just want to tell you how relevant innovation is, continuous improvement is, because in the UK, you've had some pretty amazing innovators: Winston Churchill, James Watts, Adam Smith, Adam Turing. These are all very important figures historically, and I've actually been to the gravesite of Adam Smith. I've been to Winston Churchill's home down south of London. I've seen James Watt's first workbench actually in the Museum of Science there in London, and I've been to Alan Turing, Bletchley's Park, where he broke the Enigma code. So I've been very heavily influenced by the innovators from the UK, and you should be very proud of that because they are great innovators, lean thinkers, and people that just made a big difference in the world, and that's very important. But there's something else I want to tell you about that's pretty incredible. You probably didn't know that Sakichi Toyoda, who's the reason we're all here and the reason why we learned the Toyota production system, was because of Sakichi. He started Toyota Loom Works, that he was heavily influenced by someone in the UK named Richard Arkwright. And Richard Arkwright was a carpenter and built looms and was very innovative. And Sakichi read this book by Samuel Smalley and called Self-Help. And in there he talked about Arkwright. And I actually read this book as well. And he's from the UK. So some very influential people who actually kind of changed the world, because if Sakichi wouldn't have read this book, he might not have become one of the greatest inventors of all time. And indeed, that's what Sakichi is. And he is really the originator of lean thinking in many regards. So what is the goal of this talk? I'm a very goal-oriented person, and I'm very, very direct, very fast-paced. So we're going to get right into it. My goal is simple: for you to have a Satori moment. In Sakichi's, the spirit of Sakichi, it means the Japanese Buddhist term for awakening. I want you to have an awakening. I want, at the end of this talk, for you to say, I never heard anything like that. This is really incredible. This could make a profound difference in my life. So once upon a time, in 1977, I was 17 years old, and I'm going to take you to my first place of employment, and that is all the way over in Lemon Grove, California, just outside of San Diego. And I'm going to introduce you to Taylor Guitars, a small startup guitar company. Bob Taylor was the owner, along with Kurt Listick. And I went to work there at 17 years old, and Bob put me in charge of one department after another. And within 3 or 4 months, I was actually doing Bob's job of stringing up the guitars. And you might wonder, how could a young 17-year-old be in a company like that in just 3 or 4 months? Rise to such a high level where I take Bob Taylor's job? Well, the answer is very simple. Bob gave me the freedom to improve. He understood that if people improved, that this could be a great avenue for innovation and success as a company. And today, Bob Taylor's company and Kurt Listick's company is just world famous. They're one of the best guitar makers in the world. I'm still close friends with Bob. I talk to him all the time. And he really set the path for me of innovation and creativity and lean thinking in very, very profound way, because he gave me the freedom to improve everything. And I owe a lot to Bob. He's really the original lean thinker in my life. Bob always thought outside the box. So I went into this hotel in Atlanta, and I've traveled to 134 countries, and I've never seen this in any hotel anywhere in the world. The first thing every person does when they walk into their hotel room is plug in their phone, plug in their laptop, right? And you're always looking for that thing. Sometimes it's under the nightstand. It's generally always in a difficult place, to be honest with you. It's rare that it's very accessible and easy to get to. But in this particular hotel in Atlanta, they gave me great visual controls to show me exactly where to plug it in. And I just go, wow, finally a lean thinker, 134 countries. And finally, somebody's thinking lean. Somebody's thinking outside the box and not like everybody else. So think about all the possibilities when you start thinking lean with your organization. So in my company, we do something called video resumes. We don't accept regular resumes like every other company in the world. We actually say no to resumes. We think they're all BS. And we make people, if they want to work for us, submit a video, 1 to 2 minute video, holding their phone horizontally, and just tell me about yourself. Now, 50% of the people immediately reject that idea. They say, I'm not going to do that. That's stupid. And of course, we don't want those people working for us because they're not innovators. They're not people who are willing to try new things. They're not people that are comfortable working outside the box. So this is an example of a video resume from a company in the UK, Climb Easy. Pretty cool. I even got your accent for you.
Hi Climb Easy, my name is Amanda Volanti and I've applied for the position of Customer Service Administrator. So just to kind of like bring you up to speed, in December 2019 I had a brain hemorrhage. It's not impacted me in any way. I'm so lucky to actually be alive, so I'm embracing the opportunity of everyday life. So I've taken up painting. I then went on to paint the tiger, done my orangutan, I painted my chimps. So it's keeping myself disciplined, attention to detail, and I find that I'm getting better and better at that each day. I'd love to be part of your team. Just sounds so exciting to me, so I felt compelled to apply. I think to describe myself also, I'd probably say that I'm an Oreo biscuit. I value my family and my friends. Can pull me apart and dunk me, I'm very resilient. So hopefully this video gets me through to the final stage of face-to-face interview, which I'd be delighted to join your team. Thank you very much.
Look how much you learned about her. You'd never get that sense about her from reading a flat, sterile piece of paper like every other person in the world does. But not at FastCap and not at 2-second lean companies around the world, because we require video resumes. So I want you to really think about being an innovator, because lean is the ultimate innovation platform. You're always trying new things, discovering what works, what doesn't work, and then adjusting. But in order to get there, you have to realize the importance of small kaizens. So this is actually a Toyota training video. This is how they train their people to think. Look how simple this is. Putting the cap on a pen. 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4 1,000, 5 1,000. 5 seconds to put a cap on. But if you do 1 1,000, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 2 seconds. You save 2 seconds on that process by connecting the work. This is the concept behind Kaizen. It is small improvements. It is not big improvements. Everybody thinks, oh, well, give me a big improvement so I can save millions of dollars. Nonsense. That is not the way Toyota thinks. A matter of fact, the first improvement from Sakichi Toyota to fix his mother's loom was simply making it so she didn't have to stop to pass a shuttle across the loom. It saved her a few seconds. That was the very first Kaizen for Toyota. Can you imagine something that simple? And if you can't get your people making simple improvements like this, you're never going to get this. Because what you have to realize is that everything is a process, from making your lunch, to washing your car, to brushing your teeth, to managing your keys, to gathering information, and the dreaded emails. It's all a process. And all those processes are clunky and need to be improved, especially email. Oh my gosh, 4 or 5 emails to answer one question. I don't do emails. Everything's with an audio or a video message on WhatsApp. I've streamlined the whole process. I literally answer hundreds of people every day just in time because I refuse to do emails. This is lean thinking. This is Bob Taylor bolting on the neck. This is putting the visual control on where to plug in your computer. This is lean thinking. This is a video resume. Thinking outside the box, innovating nonstop. So Toyota's thinking is very simple. It's called 1 step, 1 second, 1 yen, or 1 penny. This is Toyota teaching. It's that small. 1 step equals 1 second of time equals 1 penny. If you can get your head around that, you'll understand lean at a very high level. That's why I call it 2-second lean. Just make a 2-second improvement every day. The tiniest thing. Put a label on something, but do it every day for the rest of your life. So what we're showing here is something called value and non-value work. So there's no value right now. He's holding the screw gun. Only right there. Value, 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 non-value, value, non-value, value, non-value, value, non-value, 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 value, non-value, 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 value, non-value, 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 value, 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 non-value, 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 non-value. 95% of everything Toyota does is non-value. And they're the best in the world. So this just goes to show you that most of the work that you're and I'm doing is non-value. We think we're working. We're actually changing nothing. Zero. And Toyota understands that. So that's why 1 step, 1 second, 1 yen. You want to refine the process. So here's an example of refining the process of 1 step, 1 second, 1 yen. Watch this gentleman. He's going to take 1 step to grab the screw gun. And Toyota says, no, that's too much. How can we eliminate just 1 step? Okay, grabs the screw gun, steps back, 1 step. Okay, puts the screws in, steps back, puts the screw gun down. Toyota says, no. Oh, let's make a karakuri, an automation that brings the screw gun right to him, eliminating the step to grab it and the step to put it away. 1 step, 1 second, 1 yen. This is the concept. So first you understand that most of what you do is non-value, and then you start eliminating that non-value by 1 step, 1 second, 1 yen, small kaizens. So lean is very, very simple. It's not complicated. Basically what Toyota is doing is they're eliminating waste. And I do this fun little 8 deadly sins of waste fast food style. You know, you have 3 customers there, 2 customers, there's 3 of them there actually, and you make 20 hamburgers, and before you long, you transport it, put it in a warming oven, you have a defect, over processing, excess motion, the customer's waiting, you've wasted your employee potential. But that's not good enough. We got to do it hotel style. So again, you've got your customers stacked up, waiting to check in. This is the bane of my existence. I don't know why hotels can't get this straight. I walk into a hotel and I sit there for 5 minutes while somebody clicks around, click, click, click. I'm thinking to myself, what in the world are you clicking on? Don't you have all my information? This is insane. I should walk up, oh, Mr. Akers, here's your key, and go to the elevator. That's how simple it should be. But I don't know of a hotel in the world that's getting this. Don't ask me why, except for if you come to Japan with me. Because when you come to Japan, you walk into the hotels and they literally will say, oh, Mr. Akers, here's your key, and walk away. Within 15 seconds, you're walking to the elevator. No other hotel in the world. But that's because I demand that level of expediency. I demand that level of flow. But most hotels don't get it. And you've got people waiting. There's all this over processing. There's defects. There's unnecessary motion, overproduction. It's crazy. All the waste. And when you start to see the waste, everything changes.
Welcome to my world of 2-second lean. What is 2-second lean? It is simple. I took a world-class business concept practiced by the top companies in the world, Toyota, Harley-Davidson, Porsche, and made it fun and easy so anyone could tap into the power of daily continuous improvement. There are 3 easy steps to become a powerful lean thinker. First, learn the 8 wastes. Overproduction, transportation, inventory, defects, overprocessing, motion, waiting, wasted human potential. Then you will see these different wastes everywhere, and it will drive you crazy. Second, you will be compelled to eliminate the waste you now see and make improvements every day that removes the waste in your life. Make it the first thing you do every day. Small, consistent, tiny, 2-second improvements, all hooked together day after day, adds up to mountains of more free time, friend time, and play time. You see, there's nothing cool about being wasteful, and there is everything cool about becoming a lean thinker. Third, pull out your smartphone and shoot a quick video to show your improvements to your friends, family, and coworkers. That's it. Prepare to experience the power of becoming a lean thinker.
And you know what the critical thing about that is? Making videos. The power of making a video. You make a simple video on your iPhone or on your Android, and in seconds it's transmitted around the world. I used to have 2 airplanes. I used to fly all over the world in my airplanes. As soon as I figured out the power of videos, I sold the airplanes, shut down the A&P department, shut down the whole thing. and started making videos. And that's how my company became a global company. That's how come you know about me, because I made simple videos, not with a camera crew, not with fancy expensive equipment, with my iPhone. This is a very critical component to spreading lean across an organization. So what is my goal? My goal is for you to see waste like you've never seen it before. I want it to electrify you. I want you to say, man, oh, I get it now, Paul. I get it. I understand exactly what you're talking about. I see it. And my hope and dream is that you do see it, because if you do, your life will never be the same. So the ground rules for this talk are very simple. And the first one is, I can't teach you anything. The minute I become the teacher, I'm above you. You're not going to listen to me. So what I'm going to do instead, and this is the Toyota principle, I'm simply going to show you what we're doing. I'm going to show you what I'm doing, and I'm going to show you what thousands of other companies around the world are doing with 2-second lean and how their organizations are being transformed. Because if I show you, we're at the same level, okay? And it's your decision what you're going to do with this information. You can say, hey, this is cool, or you could reject it and say, Paul, you're full of it. It's not that simple. You don't know what you're talking about. And I really don't care what you do. It's up to you, because one thing I do know for sure, this is only for 2% of the people in the world. So I hope it's a higher ratio for IHG. I hope it is. But the bottom line is only 2% of the people are courageous enough, curious enough to go out and figure out how to improve on a daily basis. Most people are just content doing it the same old way, saluting sharply and going on. But not me. I have to improve everything. But most people just keep doing the same old thing, just like this hamster, and you wonder why nothing ever gets better, because you don't have a continuous mindset and you don't see the waste. But if you're open to new ideas, boy, this is going to be an amazing talk for you. So let's take a trip. Our first trip from the UK will be to Bellingham, Washington, to FastCap. This is our beautiful facility, our manufacturing facility. Beautiful 140 windows, natural light streaming in, because we want manufacturing to be an amazing experience. So let me take you inside. Akers. So I'm at FastCap. When you walk in the front door, you can see our office. It's all stand up. We've made all the pipe desks out of fast pipe. It's very cool. And you can see we don't have any walls, because that's the factory floor right there, the shipping and receiving, connected right to everything we're doing. And we have the most amazing bathroom, which is one of our claim to fame. Of course, a nice 8-step process right there on how the bathroom's cleaned and who's responsible for cleaning it. I actually cleaned the bathroom this morning. I'm the president of the company, and I clean the bathroom because everybody takes responsibility for everything. Everything is flawless, clean, immaculate. We have Japanese bidet toilet seats that heat. You don't ever want to get out the toilet seat. That's the only place that people like to sit in our place. And check this out. You walk into our supply room. Look at this. Is this magic? Cleaning stations for all the different areas. Everything's Kanban. Everything's dialed in. There's not a mess anywhere in FastCap. You know, our famous magnetic salt and pepper shakers. Everything's dialed in everywhere. Who has kitchen drawers like this? And this area right off the kitchen where we eat, this is where we have our morning meeting. Every morning where everyone meets, we call it the sandbox. This is where we play, teach, and learn. This is all of our tools, everything dialed in, everything perfect. Our nut and bolt rack, best in the world right there. And this is down in injection molding where Skylar hangs out. These are all of our colorants, all Kanban, all visually labeled. We'll go over into our wood shop. So clean, so organized, everything's absolutely flawless and perfect. Check out this right here, pretty cool. Again, all the tools, everything's dialed in. We don't struggle or work hard to do anything. Another thing that's really cool is all of our forklifts, they can be 15 years old and they look brand new. So now, and of course, this is where all of our orders are. So these are all of our orders. Notice, hey, how about that? Everything's color-coded, 2 hours fax to truck. And this, last of all, is our grocery store. This is where all of our product is kept in just-in-time fashion, generally anywhere between a day to a week's inventory in this line right here. So there is a very quick tour of FastCap. Doesn't that make you want to work there? I mean, nobody's struggling. Everything's in a flow state. Well, this is a typical example of an improvement that we made. This is Tyler, one of our engineers. His office is on the shop floor. There's no special office for him, and he's always innovating, cobbling together the next great innovation. Watch this.
Favorite improvement is this is the bow clip as it comes out of the injection mold. What we had to do is break off these pieces individually and then sort them into these different buckets, and they drop all over the place. What we did was created the Chomper 9000. All you do is open this up, put the sprue in there with all 4 pieces. Now watch this. All sorted into different bins. We don't have to touch them at all.
No
I can do
freaking
this like
way.
10 times faster than before.
Nothing fancy, but creative, innovative, and solving the problem so he doesn't have to work hard. The goal is we want work to be easy. Make your process better. Make your job easier. It's that simple. Now, who would ever dream that opening up a blow molded case would be difficult? But at FastCap, it's difficult, and we will not accept it. Check this out. I know you've never seen anything like this in your life.
So Austin, show me your great new improvement.
In laser jam, to start the case, we have to open it up and always have to fumble around with this. Really difficult.
4 latches, a little cumbersome.
Opens it up, really difficult. So check this out. Wes from the YPO gave me this great idea about how to open the hinges. Very simple. Close the case, really simple. Look at that. All closed, all nice and easy to go.
One motion.
One motion.
Amazing job.
Thanks, Wes.
Isn't that mind-boggling? That is the way we think. 1 step, 1 second, 1 yen. Everything can be improved endlessly, and this is the way you need to think. So we'll take another trip from the UK. This time we're going to go to Wyoming, and we're going to go to an agricultural company. We're going to see what they're doing.
Bunch of improvements today. This is tidied up, magnets for the scissors. We've got this walkaway standard. This is how it's supposed to look. Pretty easy to understand. Tidied this up somewhat, still needs a little bit more work. Got rid of that mess there. Just got this dialed in a little bit. We're keeping the carts there now instead of over here. Turn this around so it's up out of the way. Another walkaway standard, another one here. We organized this a little bit. We made a few improvements to the way this works. And then cleaned out under here. If we cleaned out too much, let us know. If you still need tape or a pin or whatever. We want to organize these yet. That's all chaotic. Another walkaway standard for this. Douglas is making some improvements there in the back. He also put a magnet on this knife sharpener, so it's right there now. A lot of improvements today.
Typical 2-second lean company, constantly making small improvements so they're in a flow state. Let's take another trip. Let's go from Wyoming this time down to Australia, and let's see a dairy farmer and see what they're doing.
Hey team, I just have to post this because I'm so stoked. I've been ordering bits and pieces for this. It's an air purge. Before I had the air purge, any milk in this line would get wasted when we went to wash out the dairy. It'd just go on the ground. I calculated there's 10 litres being wasted per milking. Slug of air, which clears this milk line. Clears the milk out of the plate cooler, out of all this, into the milk line. So there's 10 litres of wasted milk. Now, I've just measured it. With the air purge, I'm wasting 1 litre. So I'm actually getting 9 extra litres into the vat per milking. So 18 litres a day saved. I'm going to do the calculations on what that is financially per year, but massive improvement, and I'm just stoked to share it with you.
Isn't that just incredible? Look how happy these people are because they can see waste. The question is, can you see waste? Are you ready to get on your lean journey and start eliminating it because it's swirling all around you? Lean is so simple. The second ground rule is, first, I can't teach you anything, I can only show you, but the second ground rule is lean is stop. It means you need to stop and fix what bugs you now. Stop putting it off. Start fixing it now. So now I'm going to take you on another trip to really illustrate that. We're going to take you to San Francisco, to the NUMMI plant. In 1984, Toyota wanted to build cars in the United States because of the tariffs. And they approached GM, who had shut down a plant in San Francisco and Fremont, California. And that plant was the worst performing plant in the world for GM. They shut it down. The employees were sabotaging the cars. 50% of the cars were being towed off the line. They had drug rings, prostitution rings. It was an epic disaster. GM said no more. Toyota approached them and said, hey, we would like to start making cars in the United States, And we know that you would like to know how we make our small, efficient Toyota high-quality cars. We'll show you how we do that if you help us learn how to do business in the United States. So they created a joint partnership called the NUMMI plant, and Toyota did that. But GM said to Toyota, there's under one condition. You have to take the same union employees that we laid off that were sabotaging the work, and you have to hire them back and use the same people. Toyota said, no problem. We'll do it. And then the rest is history, and this is what happened.
Could Toyota take one of the worst factories on earth and make it into one of the best, using the exact same workers? Toyota's first step was to send workers like Madrid to the car maker's Japanese factories. There, Madrid saw a worker misthread a bolt. And then, something totally unexpected happened. The worker reached up to pull a rope hanging overhead, and boom!
Boom, they stopped the line. They stopped the line to repair it. Gee, that makes sense. Fix it now. That impressed me, that they want to build a quality car. One bolt. One bolt changed my attitude.
That was Toyota's philosophy, that workers should be empowered to stop an assembly line, or invent new tools, or do whatever else they feel like they need to do in order to get things done. The idea is that if you give workers the authority to take control, you'll not only unlock innovation, but motivation. After Toyota implemented lean management in Fremont, within just 2 years, the worst auto plant in the world had become one of the best. If you want your team to take more ownership of their work, then give them more power. Put the responsibility for solving a problem with the person who's closest to that problem, regardless of what their title is. And then step back and watch the productivity skyrocket.
One bolt changed everything. Toyota stopped. What? A factory making 2,000 cars a day with thousands of employees, and a frontline employee can stop the line? This is Toyota's philosophy. Stop and fix it now. Make continuous improvement part of the culture, the belief system, and create flow in your organization instead of a bunch of connected, clunky processes. So you can reject what I'm saying, or you can say, hey, I'm open to new ideas, or you can keep doing what you've been doing, going round and round like this hamster. It's completely up to you. It's your call. I'm not here to persuade you one way or the other. I'm simply here to show you what other people around the world are doing. So meet James.
Hi, Paul. My name is James Cross. I'm 38 years old, and I live right outside of Nashville, Tennessee. I work at Tennessee Cheesecake, and I've been there for about 4.5 years now. Lean journey here. I'm starting with being a skeptic, moved to a believer, moved to a fanatic, if I do say so myself. And I will testify and prophesy to anyone who will listen about the power of lean and how it can transform business or a personal life. I have been astounded by the progress that has been made at my company, the improvements that we're able to make, all of the standards that we have set in place now, and everything else that goes into our 2-second lean program has completely made me 100% better at my job, and as well it made me look forward to coming to work more than any other workplace I've ever worked for. That's why I want to come on a Japanese study mission with you, Paul, because I know that all of this knowledge that we've gained has started in one place, and that is Japan. And I know that there's so much more that I can learn, and I know that I would gain massively from learning from that, just like others in my company already have. So thank you for letting me reach out to you, and I hope to hear from you soon, Paul.
Wow. Isn't that amazing? But now you actually know the truth, that he said that it really started in Japan, but the truth of the matter is Sakichi was inspired by Arkwright, a UK inventor. So you have no excuses. It's in your blood. It's in your DNA. Let me introduce you to lean beer. This is a good friend of mine. Amazing. Imagine, could beer be lean? Oh, yes, it can. Imagine pouring 7 beers in the time it takes you to pour 1 beer. This is a story. Meet Josh.
The best place to see Josh Springer's invention is at a ball game, but away from the action.
How simple is the technology?
It's very simple. It's very, very simple.
To fully appreciate it, you need to have 2 traits. One, you hate standing in line, 2, you have an affinity for beer.
I got Bud Regular, I got Michelob Ultra.
I'm the kind of guy that won't wait in a beer line. I go to the event, I pay good money for the seats.
So just to prove to himself it could be done,
Everybody looked at me like I was crazy.
he set out to end the beer line forever with a dispenser that pours the beer from the bottom up. The speed is something to behold. Springer says he holds an unofficial world record for pouring 56 beers in 1 minute. His videos on YouTube have gone viral.
Why do you think people get so excited seeing a beer filled up from the bottom?
That's a great question, but I still kind of giggle when I see it happen too. It just kind of it captivates you.
So how do you fill a beer up from the bottom? Well, as you may have suspected, there's a hole in the bottom of the cup. But the key to making all of this work is with this, a simple magnet. So when you put the cup on here, the magnet is suspended, and then the liquid comes in, and then you just...
Right, the liquid comes in from around the holes or underneath the magnet.
Once the beer is filled, just grab the cup and the magnet forms a perfect seal with a tin ring embedded in the cup.
What do people do with the magnets when they're done with them?
They take them home and put them on their fridge.
Which leads to Springer's second great idea. Get advertisers to put their logos on the magnet.
Wow. Unbelievable, right? Josh is a super lean thinker and just on fire with 2-second lean. So everything is a process. One of the greatest examples of lean thinking is my airline ticket that I made 10, 15 years ago. I got this ticket from Delta Airlines and I looked at it. I'm dyslexic. I said, this is just garbage. I mean, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do, where I'm supposed to go. This is just a living nightmare for someone who's dyslexic. So I instantly took a picture, sent it to my graphic design team, which is one guy who's 23 years old, never been trained in graphic design, brought him off the shop floor. He's unbelievable. And in 15 minutes, Graham made me a lean airline ticket. Now, look at that. Everything's put in the order, in the sequence that you need the information. Strong visual controls, standardization of the fonts, clear and easy. You don't even need to read English and you understand what's going on here. So you can have the Delta ticket or you can have my lean airline ticket. What do you think? I actually brought Toyota. Toyota asked to come to Fast Gap and they came there and they saw this. I showed it to them and said, it's great, but you can make more improvements. I said, what? Add an arrow to the direction of flight, removing all ambiguity, and then also put the arrival time so you don't have to extrapolate that, and put the date. I said, great. Within 10 minutes, we had it updated. Toyota hadn't walked 50 feet across my plant. It was all updated. They go, that's lean thinking. That's the way it's done. Small 2-second improvements every day. So I go to Canada. I show it to Canadians. They say, oh, the plane is actually orientated wrong. You need to flip it around so that when you're getting on the plane, you're not turning it around in your mind. I said, immediately, that's a great idea. Then I go to Germany and I'm speaking to all the top executives for Mercedes-Benz, actually at their brand new Hungary plant. And they look at it and goes, we enter from the back of the plane. I said, God, this is a digital age. This is simple. We could easily extrapolate whether or not the person sitting in the front of the back and show and depict where they're going to get on. So it's very clear. Very simple. Made that in seconds. Had it sent a message to WhatsApp on my team, had it updated. Mercedes said, oh, that would have taken us about a month to do something like that. And I did it in 15 minutes in front of the top leaders of Mercedes staring at me. No problem, because my processes are clean and I flow in everything I do. I go to Australia, they said another improvement, put a map on the back of the ticket so I know the orientation of the actual terminal, because every terminal is different. Easily done, instantly made the change. I'm in Indiana and they noticed the barcode's only on one side, but you ever watch people scan, put it upside down, right side up? You never know. Look at this. So at my talk in Indiana, one of the guys in the audience noticed that the scanning barcode was in the top right-hand corner. He said, put that same barcode on the backside. So when you go to scan at the airport, whether it's scanning from the top or the bottom, you intuitively know exactly where to line it up when you put it down on the screen. If it's scanning from the bottom, you know exactly where you need to line it up. So clever. Another 2-second improvement. Amazing. See, this is the way you think. Endless improvements all the time. Now I'm going to take you from the UK to Kazakhstan. I'm speaking in front of 2,000 people. And a couple young engineers stand up and say, Paul, I see an improvement. I say, I stop in the middle of it. I say, so where's the improvement? And they say, oh, add the time zone. So I know from Washington State to New York, it's 3 hours because you're not really sure. Is it a 2 hour, 3 hour, 1 hour? Are you on mountain time, East Coast time? What are you? And I said, that's brilliant. Instantly made the improvement right in front of them, in front of 2,000 people. This is 2-second lean. I go to India. We'll go down to India now, to Bangalore, and I'm speaking down there, and Ajit sees it and says, oh, you know what? The dates are always different in every country. Some people put the month first, some people put the day first. Remove the ambiguity. Just put the written date of the month and then the number. And I said, brilliant, Ajit. We made the change instantly. And then when I'm down in India again, this gal says, no, you should say whether or not you have a carry-on, whether or not you have a check bag, a little check box at the top. I said, how simple and how easy is that? Instantly made the improvement. So the question is, why can we do this? Because we see waste. We understand waste. We understand we want to eliminate waste, so we're in a flow state. But all the other airlines, not a chance. They love overproduction. They love more information. They love stacking you up in inventory. They love defects of missing planes and late planes. And then you have more defects. You got to get an ambulance in there because I have a heart attack because I missed my plane. Then they love building information desks and big travel desks because they have to take care of all the chaos that they create. And then more over processing. Then we have these great big reader boards that cost $70,000 and $100,000 a piece, so people can figure out why their planes are delayed and what gate is changed to. All the nonsense because they are not in a flow state. And they love building these big information desks too that cost $70,000 and $70,000 a person to man them for the rest of their life, when you don't need any of that stuff if you just start eliminating the waste and get into a flow state. All the excess motion, then the waiting because you missed your plane, and then wasted employee genius because everybody's going around doing like that hamster, doing the same old thing, and nobody's questioning anything and saying, why are we doing this? This is insanity. And you know what? It's not rocket science. It's a freaking airline ticket. And these airlines have not figured it out still. It is insane. So how do we improve? What is the criteria for improving? There are 4 things. It's really simple. First one is safety. We're never going to make an improvement that if it makes things unsafe, because we don't want to harm anyone. Generally, safety is not the issue, but that's the hierarchy. That's number 1. The second thing is, but you could say in this case, it's a little safety because I'm not going to have a heart attack. We're kind of joking around a little bit. The next one is quality. Now look at the 2 tickets. Clearly, if you're a customer, the lean airline ticket's a better quality product. There's no question about that. And it's much simpler, much easier to understand, and faster to get the information. So everyone thinks that lean is all about going faster, faster, faster. It's not. Speed is the byproduct of delivering a higher quality product with less defects and making things simpler. Speed is the shadow, the byproduct of all this. So this is a criteria: safety, quality, simpler, and speed. So we never argue at FastCap whether or not it's Bob's idea, Martha's idea, Mary's idea. We don't have these arguments. I'm left-handed, I'm right-handed. Oh my gosh, we don't even know this language because we are doing a scientific method to determine whether or not something's better, whether or not we've actually made an improvement. Is it safer? If there's no safety issue, go to the next one. Is it a better quality product? Does your customer get a better quality result? Is it simpler? Is it easier to execute? And is it faster? Do you save time? There's no argument. There's no like, it's my idea, it's your idea. That's just nonsense. That's for immature people. This is a scientific method applying to an organization on how to improve continuously. So check out this gal. She is amazing.
Brooklyn is our sewing lead. And this is an example of a cool little tool we built when we realized we were spending a lot of time struggling with and over processing these parts. What is this little thing?
This is our cap turning machine. These go on the end of our sport belts. We want them to look like this. This is how they come off of the sewing machine.
This CNC sewing machine makes those parts, they have to be turned inside out.
Instead of hand turning them, we're able to just feed it directly into this machine. It's got a sensor. It just turns it inside out for you
and drops it right through the floor into a bin. We took out all the unloading, all the strain of actually thumbing those backwards or inside out. There was certainly a lot of waste in that process. What has it been like for you working here, learning to see waste? Which wastes were initially easiest to see and which were hardest to see?
I would say the easiest to see for me was counting, just wasted time, movement. It has definitely been an eye-opener because I'm a very just go with the flow kind of person. If it bothers me, I find a way to work around it. So getting myself into that mindset of if it bothers me, stop and fix it. It's been really nice to see things that were super annoying just go away.
What made you decide to be part of the Lean Book Club?
I thought it was interesting as it pertains to the company. I feel like me personally, it pertains to my own business. I thought I could be a little business savvy and play both roles there.
Brooklyn has what we call a sweet side hustle, making custom baked goods, which we enjoy at our book club meeting. It's awesome.
Amazing. Isn't Brooklyn awesome? Is it simpler? Absolutely, it's simpler. A little faster? Absolutely, a little faster. This is what we're trying to do. Now, do you see all this waste? It's right underneath your nose. It's everywhere. The next thing you do after you finish this talk, look and see all the waste. Now, I'd like to end this talk with a little skit from Saturday Night Live because nobody does it better than Oscar Rogers at explaining what to do when you have all these problems. A little humor is always good. What do we do when we find these problems? Oscar Rogers. There you go. Oscar Rogers. Stop and fix what bugs you. So the question is, did you have your Satori moment? Do you realize that lean is actually very, very simple? You need to stop and fix what bugs you now. Welcome to the world of flow if you get this. Lean is the greatest journey you will ever embark on. Thank you very much.